The Nuggets get a huge win in Game 3 to cut the series lead 2-1 in favor of the Lakers. The Celtics and Heat series. Heat strike again. They're up 3-1. What's next? What are we next to expect? First, I'm going to touch on the Lakers and Nuggets. Man, you casuals on social media, you guys are ridiculous. The overreacting we get from every single time a LeBron team or the Lakers lose is absolutely insane. When Portland won game one, social media blew up like the Blazers literally just swept them in the finals. When they lost against the Rockets, everyone thought, oh, the Rockets are going to beat them and Robert Covington's going to shut down Anthony Davis. And now since the Nuggets have came back from previous 3-1 deficits, now that they cut the series lead to 2-1, Nuggets are in for a comeback. Relax. Stop it. The Lakers are not the Clippers. The Clippers are always going to clip. They live in the basement for a reason. Come on. Are you that new to this? Please relax. To the Nuggets' credit, they played absolutely phenomenal last game, especially through the first three quarters. They were unsustainably hot for the first three quarters. Big credit, big shout out. Jamal Murray playing 44 minutes. Awesome, especially in the fourth quarter when the Nuggets needed him most. He was special. Nikola Jokic, that one-legged fadeaway. And Jeremy Grant, man, those guys showed up and showed out. But I definitely want to touch on that fourth quarter. Nuggets were up 97-77, and that's where the Lakers really woke up. And it started with Rajon Rondo and LeBron James. Rajon Rondo, man, I was the one killing Rondo that he shouldn't be playing as much. Vogel needs to get him out of the lineup. The only time Rondo should be playing is when LeBron's on the bench, so it's like having a backup point guard. I was never too fond of LeBron and Rondo playing at the same time, given that Rondo's just not that good if he doesn't have the ball in his hands. And LeBron being the best player, best passer in the NBA, the best passer since Magic Johnson. I always believe the ball should be in his hands, and he should be the one making decisions with the ball. But Rondo has proven me and a lot of other people wrong. Playoff Rondo is still a real thing. What he did defensively, steal after steal, creating all those transition buckets for not only himself, but guys like LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma, and other guys, man, he's really started the rally and started the comeback. LeBron had 13 fourth-quarter points, but I really started to see fatigue in him. And same with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis played 43 minutes, but he looked gassed halfway through the fourth quarter. I thought Anthony Davis had his hands on his knees. I really thought at any given moment he may just pass out and faint. He just looked like he had nothing left in him. He wasn't very aggressive on the boards, only with 2 boards. I was a little disappointed in that fashion. But to talk about LeBron James looking gassed, he's 35 years old in year 17. We all know this. And you can look at this year as him being in year 18. Having 5 months off and having to get right back into playoff mode, he's technically in year 18 right now, still at the age of 35, given the circumstances with the 5 months off. But it's really unfortunate to see that he doesn't look like he could just play those 45 to 48 minutes, which we've seen in the past. We've seen multiple virtuosos like that. Game 7 of the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals, he played 48 minutes. I think Game 6 in that series, he played 46 minutes. Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, he played 47 minutes. 2012 of Game 7, I believe he played another 48 minutes. Like, we've seen him play 48 minutes more times than not in the playoffs when his team needs him the most, and he doesn't look like he broke a sweat. But last night, I saw him absolutely gassed. There's one thing, LeBron, I want to have a little flashback from his HBO shop, the show. There's one flashback that he talked on, that's something that stuck with me personally in my daily life, and that's something that I always said with LeBron about I never worry about his playoff minutes because of this. We go back to 2017. He's in the HBO in the shop, talking with Draymond Green, Paul Rivera, Rich Paul, and his entire business. Paul Rivera was talking about Game 7 of the 2016 Finals. He says to LeBron and Draymond Green, he says, you guys are just hooping. You guys are going back and forth. So there's never a point where you get tired. You don't feel tired. LeBron looked at him and said, the real mofos never let themselves that you're tired. You may be tired. You're tired. You may put your hands on your knees, but it'll never creep in your mind that you're tired. Be like, yeah, I'm tired. I can rest after the game. But last night, I saw that the king can't be the king for 48 minutes. He's got to pick and choose his spots. In the beginning of that fourth quarter, going up and down the court, finishing at the rim, I mean, wow, he was the locomotive and the special player that we know he is. But I definitely saw fatigue, which is, yeah, that's partly concerning. But that may be a reason why in Game 2, we saw him have that monster first half, and then he was super quiet in the second half. He doesn't have those legs that he used to 2 to 5 years ago where he can play 48 minutes like it's nothing. I don't think he has that anymore, and that's why a guy like Anthony Davis is so critical to have on his team. Anthony Davis playing 43 minutes, he looked wiped and not as aggressive on the boards. For the Lakers to not only win this series, but to win the NBA Finals. The two top dogs, LeBron and Anthony Davis, I really think need to play 40 minutes a game. The Celtics or the Heat, which it looks like the Heat are going to get in, are no pushover between the way they shoot with Tyler Hero, Jay Crowder, Duncan Robinson. We know how well Bam's been playing. Jordan Dragic, of course, Jimmy Butler, the best player on the team. They are no pushover, and how great their coach with Spo. So I really believe that the LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to need to play 40-plus minutes a night in the finals and even in this series to get by. Because the Nuggets, we know they could get hot. They're a tough team. They're not going to give up, and you can never count them out. We saw it in the Clippers series. We saw it in the Jazz series. So moving forward, LeBron and Anthony Davis, maybe they got to pick their spots, but I still believe they got to play 40-plus minutes a night. And no, I'm not worried about them losing the series. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I could say with confidence, right now as we speak today, they are the two best players in the NBA. And because we know in the sport of basketball, the postseason always weighs more than the regular season. You want to talk about postseason play as well as regular season combined, and look at postseason especially. Anthony Davis has outplayed the MVP and Giannis Antetokounmpo clearly, and LeBron has as well in terms of the postseason. James Harden has had a usual postseason where he has those really cold streaks shooting, and then his team ends up losing expectedly. And then Kawhi Leonard. We all thought Kawhi Leonard was a guy. I already touched on him, and he had an absolutely disappointing series against the Nuggets, choking an ultimate choke job with that 3-1 lead, disappearing in multiple fourth quarters, having 0 points in 2 fourth quarters of that series. So the Lakers are just fine. The two top dogs in LeBron James and Anthony Davis need to show up. Now I want to flip the script real quick and talk about the Heat and the Celtics. I believe that I'm officially off the Celtics bandwagon. I was the one saying the Celtics going to the finals before the NBA restart, but I think that time has came to an end. The Heat are just so well, they just gel so well together, so well coached. And with shooters like Tyler Hero, man, wow. You heard it here first. Tyler Hero will be a better version of Klay Thompson later in his career once he enters his prime. Everyone's going to come at me and say, oh, what about the defense? What about the defense? Maybe he can never defend like Klay Thompson does, but offensively, he shoots the lights out just like Klay Thompson. I think he's going to be as good of a shooter as Klay Thompson, but we see he can handle the ball a little bit, put the ball on the floor, and finish. And Tyler Hero is not afraid of the moment. He's clutch, and he thrives under pressure. That's what great players do, and Tyler Hero as a rookie, man, that's unbelievable what we're seeing from Tyler Hero, especially helping the Heat get to this 3-1 lead. And guys like Duncan Robinson and Jay Crowder. Duncan Robinson especially, I mean, he touches the ball goes up, the ball goes in. We've seen him just really touch the ball, and the ball's already in before we could even blink our eyes. He's a guy, yeah, he struggled last night, but he's a guy who could give you 1 3-pointer or give you about 8 or 9 3-pointers. Having a guy like that is just it's so alarming for a defense knowing you got to know where that guy is at all given spots, because that's just another reason why you can never count on the Heat in any game. And that's why they have 2 huge comeback victories against the Celtics in this series. These guys like Jay Crowder, who people are really sleeping on, they're not getting enough credit how great he's been shooting. Between Jay Crowder, Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Hero, how well they shoot the 3-ball is why you can never count on the Heat in any games, and ultimately why they're going to win this series and go to the NBA Finals. And as well as Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's doing Jimmy Butler things. Yeah, he's not going to light it up scoring, but his energy on both ends of the floor, being the best player on that team. Gordon Dragic, man, he's been playing awesome as well. And then Bam Adebayo, most improved runner-up for most improved player of the year. He's been playing like a monster inside on both sides of the ball. The Heat are just so deep, so well coached. They play so well together, and that's ultimately why I believe that they're upsetting the Celtics. But I don't think maybe the Celtics, yeah, maybe they could win Game 5, push it to a Game 6. I think that's the end of the rodeo for the Celtics. Blowing multiple double-digit leads, blowing a 14-point lead and blowing a 17-point lead, blowing 2 of those in a 7-game series. I mean, I just don't know how you're going to expect to win the series. It's definitely a huge disappointing season for the Celtics with NBA final appearance aspirations, but it looks like it's coming to an end. The Miami Heat look like they're going to the NBA Finals. What an upset. What a Cinderella story. But if the Lakers get there, it's no pushover for the Lakers, given how great that the Heat shoot the ball, and the Lakers are not that great of a shooting team. The Lakers super top-heavy. Heat are extremely deep, way better coached. But we got a lot of basketball to look forward to. Thanks for watching the Falco Takeaway. For more daily sports takes, please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And be sure to check me out on 6048 Sports via Instagram and Twitter, as well as the Sports Hit List on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.